Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tales of Three, an all-queer, narrative-driven D&D podcast where your three GMs are also your three PCs. My name is Dusty, my pronouns are they, she, and I play Ivy Nightbreeze Tinkerfey, whose pronouns are she, her, and that was a very stabby episode last time.
Like super stabby, right? Like stab happy.
Very stabby.
Stab times 6. Hello everyone, my name is Ariana, my pronouns are she, her, and I play Elara Spinelspark, whose pronouns are also she, her, and Elara's kidnapped, and I have a lot of feelings about it. Well, I guess she's in the process of being kidnapped.
Not if we can help it.
Not if we have anything to say about it.
Hello everyone, my name is Wayra, my pronouns are she, they, and I play Véres, whose pronouns are he, they, and, you know, I just love getting stabbed 6 times, trying to get my friends back. It's great. It's a good time.
A note regarding content warnings. This campaign is a dark fantasy that deals consistently with topics of body horror, complicated relationship dynamics, emotional distress, fantasy violence, gore, mechanized spiders, mental health and illness, profanity, and romantic and sexual relationships. A full list of episode-specific content warnings can always be found in the show notes of each episode. Last time, at the Mountain Center, the group learned that the area around the supposedly non-existent tower was off-limits. When leaving the building, they spotted a memoriam for people killed by the Stone Beast, and Selena, a seemingly helpful town person, told them a bit about the beast that had been haunting the town for generations, and she gave them some info about the tower. Unable to pick up on Selena's apparent ulterior motives, the trio went about their business, and you, dear listener, learned that Selena was actually a halfling in disguise, and that pesky owl who had been following the group since a trill found one of its owners in this person pretending to be Selena. Later that night, Véres asked Elara for help with another project and once again felt that pestering feeling of deja vu while hanging out with Elara. And after Véres left to grab the rune book, Elara answered a knock on her door, thinking it was Véres, only to find Selena pushing her way into the room. A struggle ensued where Elara passed a con save, but ultimately was overpowered as one of the assailants from Grimford came through her window and carried her out, but not before she dropped her worry stone on the ground. After escaping their locked room, Véres returned to find Elara gone, and her broken watch whirring incessantly. He freed Ivy from her room, and together with Bia, they tracked the now 3 assailants into the woods. Selena revealed herself to be Minnie, and much to Elara's surprise, she realized she was being kidnapped by her ex-fiancé's cousin, and the 2 people who tried to steal her jacket back in Grimford. A chase ensued with Ivy wild-shaping and Bia tracking from above. Véres even got close enough to almost grab Elara, but was literally stopped in their tracks by Nate casting Hold Person. The chase continued on, with Elara trying to wriggle free, Véres throwing daggers, and Ivy prowling along, but the 2 were slowed when Minnie conjured 6 poison blades from a bracer and launched them all at Véres. We pick up now with Ivy and Véres trying to catch up after removing all of the daggers from his body.
He has gotten up and has just started running again. He's bleeding. There's like quite a bit of blood coming from the wound on his face, as is the nature of face wounds. And he's bleeding quite badly, and she can smell poison on him.
I think Ivy gets in front of him and turns back into Ivy in like a very quick flash. I think we need to be a little bit more stealthy about this at this point. Who knows if she can do that fucking thing again? And you need to rest for a moment or you will literally bleed out.
If we rest for a moment, then we lose them.
We can find them again. I can still literally hear the man clinking. We will be able to find them again. We just need to take a couple seconds and then we need to stealth after them at this point. Make them think that they lost us, and then we can fucking, I don't know, raid their camp at night. Guns blazing, balls to the wall.
No, I think you're onto something, Ivy. If we do hold back and make them believe...
I can have Bia continue to tail them.
It's a good idea. How long is your range for connecting to Bia, though?
I'm not really sure, but I do know that when they stop, Bia can come back if I can't connect with her and lead us there. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to have to stop for the night.
I think he nods and says, if we make them believe that we lost them, and as you said, hang back a bit and follow them, we could stalk their camp. You as a wolf, and I could sneak into the actual camp, assess the situation, and let you know.
She nods. I just want to make sure they're not going to, if they feel like they're seriously under attack.
He nods.
You can hear the clinking, the faint clinking in the distance, by the way. I think Ivy's going to cast Cure Wounds real quick. I think she touches his shoulder, and you're healed for 4 + 7, 11 points of healing.
I think that's enough to like get them to close a bit so they're not bleeding profusely.
Yeah, they're not actively bleeding.
But he is still quite sore and they're ready to bust open. He's up to 52 now, which is great. Out of 71.
It's much better. So as that is happening, we're going to switch back over to the 3 baddies. Minnie is continually looking over her shoulder and realizes that they're not being chased anymore.
Gringor like shifts his weight with Elara on his shoulder and he says, think maybe you hit him hard enough and they're gonna back off now?
I sure hope so. I'm really concerned that he actually was able to get back up for a minute there, but maybe it was like last ditch.
What the fuck was that bone thing?
I have no fucking clue. I don't want to see it again. Is all I know. Do you think she's like some sort of fucked up werewolf, or
I certainly hope not.
why?
I don't want to be a fucking bone werewolf. Fuck that.
Valid. Let's just keep going, and then once we make sure that they're gone, we can make camp. But I don't want to take any chances right now.
What kind of friends did this bitch make?
Elara just kind of like sniffles from behind Gringor. If they stopped, I don't think that they're gonna come back. And I think she says it more to herself, like she's talking out loud, and I want to make it try to deceive them
Insight check.
Yeah.
into thinking that, she thinks that.
I don't think you succeed, Elara. I'm so sorry.
I got a 2. I got a 2.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Minnie just looks at you, I think, and she rolls her eyes.
I think Nate rolls his eyes.
What does Gringor roll? Does Gringor believe her?
So with a natural 1, he goes, I don't know, maybe she's right.
No.
Oh.
Nate just like pats Gringor's good arm.
Why don't you leave the thinking dust, buddy?
Gringor nods. That's why you're the boss, Minnie. If at any point Minnie gets close enough, I want Elara to try to snatch her jacket.
Okay.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, I think Minnie does come up because I think they've sort of slowed their roll just a little bit as they're talking. And Minnie does end up catching up with Gringor, and she's like adjacent. I think she's looking at the wound right now.
Is she wearing the jacket?
It's slung over her shoulder. I think it would literally drag on the ground if she tried to wear it.
Fair. Yeah, that's true. I want to try to grab the jacket and then reach into the pocket and grab something out of it, if that's possible.
So grab the jacket first, straight roll.
It's a sleight of hand?
Yeah, we'll do sleight of hand.
Okay, well, that's good. I got a 12 on the die, but I have a +8, so that's a dirty 20.
You're able to grab the jacket. Roll another sleight of hand check to see if you can reach into it while you are being carried.
I think so, maybe? 16?
Yeah. What do you grab?
So I pull out a vial, and does Minnie go to like grab the jacket back?
Yeah, she's going immediately to try and grab the jacket.
I let it go immediately. Like as soon as she goes to grab it, I will let it go, and I slide a vial up my sleeve, and inside of it, it looks like a little bug in there. Not a nanobot. It looks like a bug in there.
The fuck?
I'm gonna roll a perception check to see if I can see you doing that. That is I think that's a dirty 20. Let me double check.
Well, it's gonna happen right now then.
No, 17. Roll me a sleight of hand again.
Okay. Yeah, 18 on the die for a 26.
Yeah, she doesn't see you do
Come
it.
at me, bro. Okay, so I have a vial up my sleeve right now.
She grabs the jacket from the ground and pulls it back over her shoulder, and she just stares at you. I think she's kind of done talking to you right now.
Mm-hmm. I think at this point, Elara does go though. What? You wanted the jacket? I don't understand. Just let me go. You have it.
We need the jacket and we need you. So, not letting you go. But good try.
Why?
She doesn't respond to you, and she turns to Nathan. I say we go through the night. I'm not taking any chances with them catching back up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll carry her all night if I have to. I say we go until we can't go anymore. Make sure they're gone. I don't want to deal with that wolf.
She nods and she goes, all right, let's keep going. Véres and Ivy, make stealth checks.
Oh, this dice is so good to me.
I got an 18.
Am I allowed to roll this many nat 20s in one session?
Hey!
Is that allowed?
Nice.
The dice tell the story.
For a total of 23.
Beautiful. Yeah, so you meld into the fucking shadows, and Ivy is stealthy too, just not as stealthy. Ivy even loses sight of you for a moment. She's like, Véres.
I think his expression is more serious than you've ever seen it. There's a blankness to it, a lack of emotion, and a focus to his eyes that you've never seen before. It's like he's stalking prey.
She says his name, sees his expression, and then shuts the fuck up.
He's mad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Bia is going to continue to watch them from above. I think she has to stop every like 20, 30 minutes, but she does keep watching.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll just like go from tree to tree, basically.
I'm going to try to break free again.
Okay.
Lucky 13 for a 12. Oh my god, we both got a 13 on the die, so she wriggles again, and to no avail. I think Gringor doesn't even like feel her wriggling at this point. You know what I mean? Like it's just become like an annoyance.
He's just got a clamp.
Mm-hmm. So I think that when Elara realizes that they're gonna just plan to run through the night, and she hasn't seen Ivy and Véres, so she knows that they fell behind, and I think she's getting afraid that they're going to not be able to catch back up. Elara's gonna slip open the vial that's up her sleeve, and the audience will watch as what looks like a lightning bug, but like larger. It almost looks like a bigger beetle, but like kind of like a lightning bug.
Yeah.
Definitely mechanized. Crawls out of the vial and flies down to the pants part of like Gringor's armor. You'll watch as it lands on the metal and it starts to kind of pulse this orange glow. It happens a couple of times, just this slow kind of pulsing of orange. And then after like the 4th or 5th time, it just stays glowing as I cast heat metal on his pants.
Yeah. I
And
knew
you don't
it.
have to make a save if you're wearing it because he's touching it. So he automatically...
What does he do?
So I think at first he like swats at it as it starts to like feel that heat, right?
Yeah.
You know, thinking like... But then the burning starts as I think the heat starts to kind of spread out through the metal as he takes 2d8 fire damage. Yeah. For 11 points of fire damage. I think he throws Elara off of him, right? And starts like dancing in his pants, trying to...
I think, Elara, you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground.
Okay. So Elara lands with a thud for 2 points of bludgeoning damage. And let's see. He needs to take his pants off. Like that's how this or break her concentration. So I think Gringor starts screaming and literally is trying to take off his pants, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'll take him 5 minutes.
To take off his pants?
Full plate takes 5 minutes to don and doff.
So he starts trying to remove his armor. And he's you know, kind of screaming and cursing. He drops Elara to the ground. And he's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And he starts kind of reaching back for his pants, but he's stuck in his plate. What does everybody else do?
Minnie immediately goes for Elara.
Okay. Alara's gonna try to run.
Because she's going to try and grapple her.
Okay, so contested strength. Well, they're both pretty weak, I think. Well, I got a 4, so.
I got a 5. No! It's pitiful watching this scene.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing for both of them.
They're like stumbling over each other. To be fair, Elara is got bonked on the head pretty hard. But while I have Minnie, I am going to try to slide a hand into my pocket again while she's on top of me, if that works.
Yeah.
So while Minnie's distracted, I'm going to reach into my pocket again. Yes, for a 15 on the die plus 8 is a 23.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to grab the compulsion gem out of my pocket next. And I'm going to put that up my sleeve. And I think when Minnie gets her, again, she's not gonna fight. But Gringor's about to take another 2d8 of damage.
I think Nate watches him for a second and walks over to Elara, takes out his staff and whacks her across the face.
Oh no!
Elara, does a 22 hit?
Yeah!
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. As you take 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, well I got a 22 on my Constitution saving
Fuck.
throw.
So you're still concentrating.
Yeah, now Minnie's going to punch you in the face.
He takes 8 points of fire damage. He's like crying. Not in like a silly way. This man is burning. How much damage did I take? 7?
Yeah, he took 7 points of bludgeoning damage. When Nate sees that it doesn't work, he goes over and starts helping Gringor take off the plate armor.
What is Nate's passive perception?
11.
So I think that Gringor is like motioning to like the source of where it came from. Nate, you will see on the back, it looks like a lightning bug. And it's glowing. Like you just see the pulse of like the red energy. Make an intelligence check.
Intelligence?
Yeah.
That's a dirty 20.
Yeah, so you know that Elara is an artificer, and you don't know what this is, but you gather that this is the source of where the pain is coming from.
Can he scrape it off with his staff?
Yeah.
Awesome. He does, and then he crushes it in the ground.
It crunches. Like it's metal. It sounds like metal crunching.
Interesting. And
as soon as you do, you watch you watch steam rising from this man's pants as he goes, "What the fuck was that?" And he like whips his head towards Elara. And then he looks at Minnie.
As Minnie punches Elara in the face.
Nice. Okay.
For a 19.
Yeah, that hits.
That's still 1 point of damage, but
Gringor spits in her direction as he stands up and like dusts off.
Nate will help him fasten it back up again, like his armor. And he's like, does anybody else think that we should just, I don't know, knock her the fuck out? Or tie her up or something?
It's what I'm trying to do. And she punches you in the face again.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that hits. It's another point of damage, but...
Minnie, I hate to break it to you, but at this point, you're gonna end up just beating her to death.
Minnie grumbles something that sounds like at this point might be fine. But she is going to search you because I think she realizes that came from somewhere. And so she's going to search you.
Okay. Investigation. Do I have to roll it? Anything against it?
It's a 15.
I would like to, if she's gonna find it.
What was your sleight of hand roll? Do you remember?
It was high.
Roll again. Sleight of hand.
I was gonna say I would like to sleight a hand it, like, do like a magician moving out of the way as she's searching. 16.
Just barely.
I was doing a perception check.
What'd you get?
Not good.
Good.
It's a 9.
Nope, you don't see it. As you're patting down her one sleeve, she just like flicks her wrist and it falls up as you're kind of passing over on the other side, and you don't pick up on it.
Elara's sneaky.
She's got, I took sleight of hand expertise for a reason. She's good with her hands. As she pats her down, she doesn't have anything on her. She's got her cargo pants on. The pockets are empty. There's no pockets on her shirt. She just has those like leather straps that have like slots in them, but there's nothing in them.
All right.
So she doesn't find anything.
She just nods. Nate, do you have anything that can knock her the fuck out? Or I'm just gonna keep punching her in the face until she goes unconscious.
I won't try anything again.
Shut up.
Nate takes out his spell book. Elara, how many hit points do you have right now?
Right now, 22.
She can't be magically put to sleep.
Nate doesn't know that.
She's a half-elf.
Does Nate know that?
Doesn't she have the half-elf ears?
She's got little ears. Does he know? Make a perception check, Nate. See if you can find out if Elara could be magically put to sleep.
That's a 17.
Yeah, you think she's a half-elf. You don't think she could be put to sleep.
So he goes to cast something and then stop. I do think Nate comes over with rope though and starts tying her wrists and stuff together behind her, or ties her wrist behind her back. I think he pats her cheek, Elara. Says maybe he'll stop now.
She flinches when you touch her. She doesn't say anything.
Minnie gets off of her and dusts herself off.
Well, Gringor's gonna take a potion of greater healing.
Good idea, Gringor.
He chugs a health potion of greater healing and like he's like, ah. He like wipes his mouth and rotates his shoulders a couple of times, cracks his neck back and forth, stands up, and he fucking glares at Elara so nasty as he slings her back over his shoulder with like and she like thumps on his,
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they carry on.
Let's have this trio and Elara make perception checks because Bia is still flying around and she definitely saw all of that.
Oh my god.
14.
Gringor literally had a fire lit under his ass. He got a natural 20.
Good for him.
So Bia needs to make a stealth check.
She did roll a 19. He sees a weird, scaly fucking bird.
He doesn't have dark vision.
Oh, that's right.
So he should have made that a disadvantage anyway then.
Okay. Got an 18. So, yeah.
He's like, I'm still seeing spots from the fucking fire pain.
And I think that after they start to move again, Gringor is going to, after a very short time, he's going to start to slow down because he's still injured. His wounds are not fully healed, and he's carrying a person. He's carrying Elara. So I think it's starting to get more difficult. So I think that Minnie and Nate are going to notice that he starts to slow down.
Hey, Minnie, I think we should stop. Gringor's kind of like, he's falling behind a bit.
I think Minnie's gonna look at Gringor and sort of like exhale. Okay, whatever.
He's trying to like keep up, but you can just see that he's got like a sheen of sweat on his face, and he's like breathing heavy.
And I think she realizes that neither Nate or herself are gonna be able to carry Elara. So yeah, she'll stop. And I think she's going to start looking for a place to camp. I think she'll look at Nate and she'll go, all right, can you like cover our tracks or something with your magic stuff, or?
You know, I'll do my best.
So with everybody looking for a place to camp, let's check in on Véres and Ivy, who Ivy was watching all of that go down through Bia's eyes. Bia was watching it. Ivy was watching it through Bia, and then trying to narrate as like close as possible to what was actually happening, with herself getting a bit worked up too. So by the end of her narrating, you know, Elara using heat metal, Nate whacking her ass with the staff, and then like Minnie punching her in the face, and then her getting tied up again, Ivy's continuously getting a little bit worked up. And Véres, you can see like that mist, that navy mist, start to coalesce at her fingertips.
I think that it's taking literally everything in Véres not to go run off and fucking kill them all right now. He's just listening and like clenching and unclenching his fists and his jaws like tight. But when he notices the mist is threatening to take over Ivy, he kind of like puts that aside for now. And he looks at Ivy and he says, Ivy, I understand the want to go. But as you said, I think it would be better to approach this with stealth in mind.
You watch as she blinks hard a couple times, and suddenly Bia's golden like lizard eyes that sort of come through when her eyes glaze over disappear, and she's like back and fully present. And the mist disappears and she nods. And she takes a couple deep breaths. All right, I do think that I'm going to shift into the wolf because I'm faster and quieter that way. I don't know if it's gonna take over, but for right now, I'm of sound mind and body, and I can be quiet this way.
Véres nods and he mulls it over and says, you know, thank you for telling me that you're doing that, because I would have fully thought that you were not there. Well, he like cracks his knuckles and he's like, I suppose it's time to become a creepy child in the woods. He smiles, kind of like a scary, like a creepy kind of smirk, I think.
I think she just like gives him a look like, the fuck are you talking about, friend?
It's an old trick. I've had a lot of success with it in the past.
So Ivy doesn't have to watch it. He turns around and she just watches his height plummet. Like he was standing there at 6'5" or so, and then he went, and he's shorter than you now by a lot. You estimate the age to be around 12, maybe. He's like little baby-faced, slightly tan skinned child with long, dark brown hair and hazel eyes. Kind of like, looks like half-elven in descent. And he like takes not the poet shirt. There's a loose hanging linen shirt that he like ties to be like an over, kind of like a gown. He looks like a poor child.
Mm-hmm.
Who got lost in the woods. And he rolls around in the dirt a bit.
Ivy just watches.
Yeah. And he stands up and he's like covered in dirt and like debris and leaves and shit, and his hair's a mess.
This is a little unsettling, I'm not gonna lie.
And he looks up at you with these big brown hazel eyes, and his lip wobbles.
Aww.
He looks sad.
She pats his head.
And then he grins.
He grins a Véres grin.
Yeah, he does. He grins a various grin. Think this will be good enough?
I think so.
Well, I guess I better go make my way.
Yeah. So I think the baddies make a small camp like out of the way, put up makeshift tents and start a small fire. They feel like they hid their tracks well. Not that it matters, because Via's following them. Where does Gringor put Elara?
So I think he sits next to her and just keeping a close eye, making sure she doesn't try to run for it or anything like that. He looks at her as he kind of sits her down and he's like, don't you fucking move, I swear. But she doesn't even like look up. She's just like looking down at the knot, the rope. Oh no, this is behind her back.
Mm-hmm.
She's just looking down.
I think Minnie is handing out rations.
I think Nate is keeping watch,
Perception.
holding onto Alara's jacket currently.
Elara is watching Nate and the jacket.
That's a 6. He's keeping great watch.
You don't hear anything.
He's so focused on that jacket.
Yeah, he's looking at the intrinsic rune carving work at the top and like the wires going through.
I think Elara will look up. Don't dislodge that gem. It'll cause a big explosion. And then we'd all be dead, so...
I think he looks at you and raises an eyebrow.
Roll a deception. Persuasion or deception, whichever it is.
It's deception. She doesn't want all of her shit coming out of her pockets.
It's a 17 for insight.
Lucky 13. He looks at her and like her face kind of just twitches a little. And he knows enough about runes and magic to know that it's not going to explode. It's just going to expel all of her stuff everywhere.
Mm-hmm. I think that he scoffs a bit and says, does a truthful word ever come out of your mouth, or do you just incessantly lie?
She doesn't say anything.
I think that after Nate says that, can I get everybody in that area to make a perception check?
Elara got a 2.
Okay.
Gringor got a 15.
Nate got a 3.
Yeah, Nate and Elara are just
Staring daggers at each
locked
other.
on right now.
17 plus 3. Dirty 20.
So, Minnie and Gringor, as you're both going about your business, you start to hear rustling in the leaves, and then a twig snap,
Gringor grabs his sword and stands up in front of Elara.
and the sound of like a thud in the dirt.
Minnie looks up, looks at it. What's going on?
You see a bush rustle, and out of it, you see the top of a small head, humanoid.
Hello?
The face kind of snaps up and looks at you, surprised. Big brown hazel eyes look back at you, shocked. And you now realize that there is a small child on their hands and knees in the dirt. Looks like they just tripped.
Gringor goes, what the fuck?
Minnie looks at the other two, and she's like, is that a fucking child?
Nate looks away from Elara, over.
Well, it certainly looks like it.
The kid looks startled, scared. They get back up to just go back into the woods.
You should go back to your parents right now.
And the kid stops and looks over, and they're fidgeting with their hands, and their destroyed linen gown thing. It's like solidly full of dirt. He's like, I don't know where they are.
Elara takes a deep breath. All right, I think we should all make perception checks on this kid. Véres, make a performance check. Gringor got a 15.
Nate got a 10.
Oof.
Elara got an 8. What happened?
5.
5? Amazing. It's a 19.
I think Minnie motions for the child to come closer.
I think that he looks over to the woods and then looks at them and takes a hesitant step towards them and then comes over. He looks like he's been in the woods for a while. He's got leaves all in his hair and twigs matted.
Oh my god. Alara's freaking out.
Minnie goes, what's your name, kid?
Ander?
All right, Ander. Well, where's your family?
I don't know. I was out hunting with Dad, and the wolf kind of ran by, and that was a couple days ago. I haven't seen him since.
Are you from that town, Rose?
He nods.
Make me a deception check, Ander.
Okay. 21.
All right. Well, you can stay here with us tonight, but we're not going back to Rayus, so I can give you some rations and point you in the right direction when the sun comes up. But sorry, kid.
He nods. He's like, that's okay. I just don't know where I am. If I knew what direction, I could probably get back.
Just don't talk to the girl with the red hair.
And he looks over at the girl and then back at them and nods, like, enthusiastically.
Elara doesn't say anything.
I think Ander takes a seat and minds his own business, occasionally looking over at you, Elara. How you looking, Elara?
Well, she's probably got 2 black eyes.
I think her nose is bleeding a little bit.
Yeah, bloody nose. She does not look like she's having a good time. And her hands are behind her back. He probably can't see that they're tied, but like, I don't know if she would think a child would pick up on it, but she's trying to hide it because I don't think she wants to freak him out, because if she freaks him out, then she doesn't know how these people are going to react if the kid thinks that something is wrong.
Are you guys camping?
We are on our way to go meet up with a couple people.
That sounds fun.
It's gonna be really fun, yeah.
Why are her eyes black?
I fell before when we were camping.
It looks painful.
I'll be okay. I think they're just going to sit there in silence. I think that she has a million questions that she wants to ask Minnie, but she's not going to say anything in front of this kid because she doesn't want to potentially put him in danger, you know?
Fair. I think that Ander just kind of looks around and just goes,
I'm gonna go to bed.
Minnie nods and she motions him to, I guess, her tent.
Elara, make a perception check.
14.
What is everybody else's passive perception?
13.
Gringor's is a 10. No, 11. His is an 11.
So, as the kid gets up to go to the tent, Elara, you watch him go, and you see a familiar rock come out of his pocket, and he just kind of like takes out, rubs a bit, and puts back in.
Is it her worry stone?
It's her worry stone.
Aww.
And he goes to the tent.
Oh my god, I think that her like breath gets caught in her chest, I think. Yeah, she does like one of those little exhales and she shakes her head, and I think like she has to physically stop herself from looking around for Ivy and Bia.
He just wanted her to know that she wasn't alone anymore.
Aww. I do want her to make a perception check and see if she can like pick up on Ivy and Bia.
I'm gonna roll stealth for both of us.
Hey, I got a 16.
You see both of them?
No, I don't.
Bia's up in a tree right in front of you,
Okay.
and Ivy is like actively stalking around the edges of the camp
Okay.
in her bone wolf form.
Okay. I think after a little bit of silence, because I don't know that Elara understands Véres and Ivy's plan, but I think that she feels a little bit safer and bolder knowing that they're so close. And so she looks at Minnie. Minnie, please, I don't understand what's happening. What are you doing? And how did you... And she looks at Nate and Gringor. They were in Grimford. Were you with them? Riven said they got arrested.
For fuck's sake, shut the fuck up, Elara.
maybe we should gag her too.
You have my jacket. Just take it and leave me alone, please. Gringor goes, would have been nice if it was that simple.
It was supposed to be. If those two wouldn't have intervened, we'd have been done with this, and you, the first time. Instead, we've been following you around since we saw you in a trill, waiting to get you away from your friends. And he kind of like flicks his wrist. This shimmering yellow cloud begins to form with like hints of shimmering purple mixed in, as it kind of forms into the shape of an owl. And he flicks his wrist again and it vanishes as he just stares at you, Elara. He's still eyeing the jacket, and he says, like, almost under his breath, "Weak little scientist taking things she's not supposed to. Snatch her up for a pretty penny," they said.
Don't worry, we'll get our platinum, Nate. Taking things? What did I take?
Igwe family and Eldritch Vale not ring a bell?
I think Elara kind of like deflates a little bit. The rune book.
Not as dumb as you look.
She looks at Minnie and she goes to say something, but I think her mind is like swimming because they know about the jacket, but only Penny and Aiden know about Alara's jacket. So I think she's like mentally telling herself that Aiden wouldn't snitch on her, but I don't know that she actually believes it. Aiden wouldn't.
You think that low of my cousin? They loved you, Elara, and you left them high and dry.
I didn't.
She puts her hand out because she's not interested in your explanation. Besides, it's worse than that. Aunt Avery wants you.
Elara takes a deep breath. Why?
She shrugs. Hell's if I know. She probably thinks you know where Aiden ran off to this time. You know her game. She'll probably just threaten to ruin your reputation, get you expelled, all that politics stuff, until you tell her where they are. See, back in Grimford, we were just supposed to snatch that jacket of yours. Now she's real mad. She told me not to kill you, though, made that real clear. But she told me not to show up without you this time.
She did say that we could break your hands if you don't cooperate.
Yeah, she was real specific about your hands.
Yeah, it was weird. I think Alara's just silent for a bit. And then after a minute, she just goes, okay, well, I'm not resisting, so there's no need to hurt me anymore.
I think she takes a second. And she goes, listen, I'm gonna ask you one question. What's the fucking deal with the Bone Wolf? Who the fuck are you friends with, Elara? Is that why you left Aiden? Because you found more powerful friends?
She shakes her head. No, it has nothing to do with that. And does she still see Ivy skulking around?
Make another perception check.
19.
Wolf is gonna make a stealth check. That is a 14.
As Nate hears Minnie say what the fuck is up with the wolf, I think that clues him in to look around for said wolf. He's like, oh shit, I should be on watch right now. And that with a natural one.
He's just too involved in that.
He doesn't see fuck all, so.
That's so funny.
Okay, so Elara got a 19. So does she still see the wolf skulking around?
Yes, about 30 feet behind Minnie, she can see the bone wolf skulking through the brush, and you can tell that the demeanor has shifted. Prior, you knew it was Ivy. There's just that stance that's a bit unanimal, more so like cognizant of, at one point they were human, now they are now an animal on the ground. Now it is very much a wolf stalking its prey. Animalistic.
So in response to Minnie asking about the wolf, Elara takes a deep breath and she goes, no, but I guess it's a good thing that you lost them. Ivy, well, she can do something that I've never seen, anybody do before. She turns into, well, you saw a wolf made of bones. And, well, I've seen her rip someone's throat clean out. And, she kind of becomes, she kind of loses herself, I think, a little bit. And it's really very scary and gruesome to watch. And, Véres, well, you saw they took those daggers and kept running. And well, when they get upset, mad, I guess, or feeling like they need to protect someone or help someone, they also, he's got this scythe that appears out of thin air. And well, I've seen him literally cut somebody in 2 pieces. So if I'm being really honest, I think it's probably better that they're not here because I'm really not sure what they would do if they were.
Why don't we find out?
Elara looks up towards the tent.
And you see, silhouetted by the fire, you see this child standing there, illuminated by the fire, and you watch as their bone structure starts to crack and contort, and they grow up to their full 6.5 height. Their skin blanches out to gray, and their hair seems to almost melt out to a light pink, and the red eyes are back. And his arms are kind of hanging loosely around a scythe, which you see vermilion smoke beginning to fade in the air. And you see standing before you, Véres, who looks pissed beyond measure.
Hey.
And now I think it is time to roll initiative.
Amazing. Oh, Gringor got a natural 1 on his
Fuck
initiative.
yeah.
Oh, Gringor.
For a total of 3. Elara got a 16.
Véres got 21, Nate got a 9.
Minnie got 13, and then Ivy got 8. Alrighty.
Let's fucking do this.
Okay, so we are going to start this round with a snarl from the woods.
Yeah, buddy.
As Ivy sprints forward and makes a bite attack on Minnie.
Nice.
So that is going to be 17 plus 5. That is, I'm not even going to calculate it. That's going to hit. So you watch as the wolf sprints out of the woods, determined, and clamps onto the joint where the neck meets the shoulder on Minnie and clamps down. And she takes
Yikes.
8 points of damage as she tears into Minnie's shoulder. I think Minnie cries out in shock, and we are going to start at the top of the round with Véres. Who are you gonna fuck up?
Man, they're all sitting too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. I think he's gonna lower the scythe and just stalk up to Gringor and burn a rage. And he's gonna lift the scythe up, take his 2 hits, one right into his back.
Yeah, he's like, as he's turning around.
Yep. Does a dirty 20 hit?
It does.
Awesome. And then I'll roll to hit for the other one too. Is it 21 hit?
Yeah, yep.
Amazing. So the first one is gonna go up and he's gonna take a stab right into his back through, he's still wearing his plate armor, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Through wherever connective area where the plates connect. First one stabs in for 13 points of slashing damage. And the other one, ooh shit, 15 points of slashing damage. And that one, as Gringor turns around, I think he gets him like kind of over from the chest over the shoulder and back, and then he kind of spins it around, whips it back, and prepares to attack for the next round.
He cries out in like shock because everything kind of happened super quickly, and pain as these hits connect for sure. Who's up next?
Elara, you've just seen the wolf come out of the brush and attack Minnie, and then Véres just fuck up Gringor. Véres, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Where on your person is Alara's watch right now?
It's in his pocket.
Okay. I think as this battle starts and you and Ivy both make contact, you hear the grinding of the gears get louder.
Okay. Interesting. It's just louder now.
You can hear it now. Before you could hear it if you put it up to your ear. Now you can actually hear it in your pocket.
Elara is going to... She takes off her little band around her thigh that she uses for catapult. She looks at Nate and she kind of like primes it, right? So she like loops it over her feet and pulls it back, and she's going to pick up 3 kind of random rocks on the ground. And she looks at Nate, and then she looks at Minnie, who just got a chomp taken on her neck. And she's aiming at Nate right now, and she goes to all of them, please just give me back my jacket and no one has to get hurt. Does anybody say anything?
No, Minnie doesn't.
I think Nate just laughs and stands up.
He has to make a dexterity saving throw of 15 or higher.
It's a 2. It's a 2.
2? Okay. 13 points of bludgeoning damage as she releases these rocks, and I think one pelts him like right in the temple of his head. And Alara's gonna stand up as well.
I don't think he's laughing anymore.
So that is Minnie's turn. Minnie is going to stand up and immediately whirl around on the bone wolf and attempt to stab her. That hits. That is a 15 plus 7. Yep, so she's going to do 1d4 plus 3d6. So that's 16 points of damage.
Whoa.
What does she do?
Yeah, so she just stands up, whirls around, pulls out her dagger, and just stabs into like the shoulder area of the bone and nicks it as it goes in, and the wolf like howls. It is now Nate's turn.
I think Nate stumbles a bit and like shakes off like the near concussion as his vision starts swimming. He took a lot of damage for this poor little wizard boy. I think that you watch as he does like a series of hand motions through the air, and the air around him starts to coalesce with these like ice crystals, and he launches it forward at Elara.
No.
In retaliation.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna have to make a ranged spell attack. Does a 17 hit?
Meets it, beats it.
Oh.
when she sees Nate going to like fire at her, I guess, or like cast a spell at her, she puts both of her hands up and she goes, please, I'm telling you, we can just end this. Just give me my jacket back.
It's a little late for that now.
Just launches the ice knife at you. As you watch the ice coalesce around his hand and he reaches out to launch this spell, he's aiming Elara, you realize at the last second, directly for your left hand with intent. Earlier, you recall him saying that it was okay if they hurt your hands. It seems like Nate took a special interest in that. And you take 8 points of piercing damage. And then moments later, the ice flares and spikes fly out.
I need to make a dex save, right?
Yeah, so like anyone within 5 feet of him, except for his allies, who would know from traveling with him, that Nate's magic doesn't target his allies. So Gringor will autosave.
I got a 3 on the die.
Shit.
I'm not even gonna check my plus. It doesn't matter.
Ooh. Shit. Oh, God. So it's a total of 9 points of additional cold damage as the ice flares out.
That's a permascar.
And that is his turn.
She screams in pain and like drops her hand and is now clutching it with her other hand as it begins to bleed, I'm assuming, a lot.
Yeah, profusely.
So it is now Ivy's turn. So the wolf sees and hears that. The wolf's head snaps over to Nate, and you watch as she barks and stomps on the ground at the same time. A vine shoots out from the ground and travels up to Nate and wraps itself around his body. And he has to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. I don't know how good he is at those. Oh, it's an 18.
So he does save, but he does take half damage.
Nice.
And then Elara will be receiving an unspent hit die. So go ahead and roll an unspent hit die. 5 points of damage.
Is it plus anything or is it just the hit die?
Plus my spellcasting ability modifier. So plus 4.
Okay. So that's 8 points back. Thank you.
Yes. The vine does dissipate in like a necrotic energy once it saps from Nate and then travels over to Elara and wraps up around her boot for just a split second to give her the energy back.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, that's cool.
She kind of breathes out a little and nods at the wolf.
And that is the first time the wolf has cast in her form.
It's so cool.
That is her action. And now it is
Okay.
Gringor's turn at the bottom of the initiative.
Gringor.
Who's just seen a lot happen in the last 6 seconds.
Yep.
As Gringor is standing up, he takes a greater healing potion out of his pouch, pops the cork, looks Varys dead in the eyes as he downs it, throws the bottle like at Alara's feet, and like lets out like a, rolls his shoulders, and gets back, 11 points of healing, and with 2 hands, grips his long sword, and he's going to take an attack on Varys for a 18 to hit.
That hits.
12 points halved to 6, and then I get a second for a 13 to hit.
Does not hit.
So he slashes at your side, and then he comes and like spins it down to slash at your shoulder.
I think there's just kind of like move, like suddenly sidesteps to like move out of the way of the second hit, but the first one clean definitely hit him.
Okay. And then he looks back at Minnie and Nate, and he's just like, "What's the plan here?" Well, he doesn't look back. He says, not breaking his eyes from Varys.
Minnie goes, "Don't die."
Doesn't matter what happens to those two. Make sure she stays alive.
He nods and smiles at Varys.
Varys isn't looking at Gringor.
What's he looking at?
Varys is staring almost transfixed at Alara's hand.
Fantastic.
That is top of the order with Varys.
Okay, so I think he looks away from Alara's hand, looks at Gringor, and walks over to Nate.
Oof. Gringor is gonna try to stop you.
Okay.
I would be surprised if he didn't.
As Gringor watches, because Gringor is like looking at you like, we're about to get into this,
We're gonna
like
spar.
the two strong ones head to head. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you go to leave, he sees you looking at Nate. He lets you walk past because he wants to stab you in the back.
Cool.
For a 19 on the die,
That hits.
9 have to 4 points of slashing damage as I think he tries to like spear you, like run you through.
Mm-hmm. So, tell me Gringor's reaction when he stabs into Varys's back.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't get as deep as he thought he would,
That's what she said.
and then he just keeps walking.
I think that he takes a deep breath and again rolls his shoulders, kind of cracks his neck back and forth, and he goes, all right, and he turns towards Elara.
Gringor, make me an intelligence check.
Oh, okay. Lucky 13. Lucky 13. Lucky 13.
I was gonna say.
I didn't know his plus.
I think that is enough for Gringor to understand that if he wants either of Ivy or Varys' attention, he has to hurt Elara.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, he's gonna get it. I think Varys is gonna use 15. He uses 15 feet of movement to go over to Nate. He goes around the fire over to Nate, raises his scythe, and with a sick grin on his face,
Bye, Nate.
he raises it and is just gonna take a huge slap onto him. For 21 to hit, that definitely hits. Even if he cast Arcane Deflection, Nate would not be able to defend against that.
Does it look like he's gonna kill him?
Yeah, it does. That's exactly his hit points.
Oh.
To bring him to 0?
To bring him to 0. Yep. And Varys comes down from above and between the shoulder blades, stabs right into him. And you watch Nate crumple like a rag doll to the ground. And he rips the scythe out, looks at Gringor in the eye, and raises his scythe to hit him again.
I think that Elara sees this, and I think still holding her hand, she like looks over and screams out, Varys, don't do it, don't kill him.
I think whoever's watching,
Everybody.
I think that Varys had flipped the scythe down to go and attack Nate a second time. And you all watch as Elara finishes saying, no, please don't kill him. The tip of the scythe stops just inches before Nate's neck.
Elara sighs.
He straightens up, leaves Nate lying on the ground next to the fire, and walks over to Gringor. How close is he to Elara?
Right there, 5 feet. In melee.
I think he's going to go for another attack on Gringor, and he's going to bring it, the tip of the scythe up, and kind of like try to gouge him straight across the stomach, trying to get underneath that plate mail.
Ooh, like hooking in.
Yeah, kind of.
Gross.
He knows what he's doing. Dirty 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
That is 12 points of slashing damage. He's going to wedge himself between Elara and Gringor.
Elara, that is your turn.
Oh, God. Elara just wants to talk.
Well,
She looks at Minnie. If she runs away from Gringor, will she take an opportunity?
no, because Varys is in between them.
Technically, he could still try with disadvantage.
Okay, well, he's gonna try. Elara's gonna, like, whisper from behind to Varys, thank you, and try to run for her jacket next to Nathaniel. So Gringor is gonna take an attack of opportunity against her as she runs away. And that's gonna hit. It's a 15 on the die.
Jesus.
With disadvantage?
Oh, at disadvantage, sorry. Natural 1.
Yes!
He hits
it does not
himself.
No, he goes to pull one of his hand axes off of his like belt, and it gets like caught, and he can't get at her in time.
Awesome.
So she's gonna run to her jacket, and she picks it up, and she just looks at Minnie, and she's like, "Minnie, please, we don't have to do this." She's gonna put on her jacket, and she's not gonna do anything. She's just gonna ask Minnie to stop, and she's gonna look at Nate and make sure that he's not dead.
Oh, yeah? Make a medicine check.
Or like kind of assess how bad his injuries are. That's good. 15 on the die for 18.
Elara, you know that Nate is on the doorstep of death.
Okay.
He's not dead yet.
She's going to. I know that you guys are going to hate this. She looks at Minnie after she kind of looks at Nate and she sees that he is in a lot of trouble. She looks at Minnie. Is Minnie looking at her or is she focused on the wolf?
I think Minnie has turned to her.
She goes, as a show of good faith. And Elara's going to use her action to stabilize Nate.
You would need to roll another medicine check to stabilize him, unless you're giving him like a potion.
No, I don't want to heal him because she doesn't trust enough. Like, she doesn't trust them enough to heal him.
Yeah.
But she does want to stabilize him then so that he doesn't have to make death saves.
Roll a medicine check.
Yeah. It's a 13. 16.
Yeah, so you're good.
Where's his wound? In his back?
All across his back.
It's like in between his shoulder blades, essentially upper back. There's like a big gaping wound that's profusely bleeding there.
I think if you guys will allow, especially for like expediency and time, she uncorks a vial of her healing nanobots, like the same ones that she uses to heal, like for the healing word ones. But these ones are just sparkle silver because they're not color coded. And she takes some of Nate's blood and she puts it into the vial, and the bots immediately will fly to his wound, and they essentially form a layer over the wound, and it'll slow the bleeding down.
Yeah, you slap a patch over it.
Yeah.
They stop the bleeding, essentially.
So he's not, like a Band-Aid.
Okay, cool.
I think Minerva has an almost like feral look on her face, watching Véres almost kill Nate, and then seeing Elara do this shit. She just like fucking blue screens. I think all rationale goes out the window.
Oh boy.
I think she's going to look at Elara with this almost feral look on her face. Fuck it. I can still get gold with your dead body. And then she's going to raise her other bracer, and you watch as the 6 daggers come out, and all of them are going to shoot towards Elara.
Fuck. Okay.
Thanks so much for listening. We're incredibly grateful for the love and support.
And P.S., if you want more content, check out our Patreon for free clips, bonus scenes, and if you join the Red Rogues, you'll get access to the Rainbow Dice Club chat and after show where we talk about past episodes.
If you're enjoying the show, please consider leaving us a 5-star review and tell your friends about us.
Special thanks to our Green Fiend Patreon supporters, Jen Bear and Michael.
And with that, our story pauses here for today. Join us next time as we continue our adventures, and remember, it's never too late to start your own.
Bye!
Look out! There's a Diceberg ahead! Are you ready to wreck into our next adventure? Diceberg Ahead is a tabletop RPG actual play podcast that navigates us through a whirlwind of storytelling. From the bustling airways of Cydonia to the city of Feori, through magic unknown, sealed in a vast magic bubble. DBA is but a vessel for new beginnings, releasing one-shots, interviews, and mini-campaigns on top of our long-standing campaigns. Explore the woodlands with our Root RPG mini-series, or just stick around for a one-shot of Blades in the Dark. All this and more can be found on dicebergahead.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello everyone. Welcome to this thing where they make us read things that people write in our voices.
Who's they?
The people.
The gods?
No, maybe. I don't know. Possibly.
I abstain.
You can't just abstain, Véres.
We are contractually obligated.
Contractually by who?
I don't know. The universe.
All right, who's doing the first one?
Me. Because it says, I want Elara to say this. Laughy emoji. And it is from, the question is from 26 Elnus Rush for episode 18. And it says, Elara, me, saying this. And I'm supposed to say, oh, they don't bite. And then, well, I can't say one of these words in this sentence, but Véres and Ivy proceeds to go
Fucking.
feral on Cameron in the guild because she was so mean. And then Cameron, incomparable screaming, yes, they do bite.
Yes, we do bite.
Very hard.
When necessary.
So, yeah, only when necessary.
And sometimes when not.
Well,
I bite. I don't
who's
know about Ivy.
next? Moving right along.
This is from 26 Elnis Rush from episode 15. We don't have changelings here. Me side-eyeing Varys with an eye emoji.
You side-eye me all you want.
I do it quite often.
I know you do.
You say some stupid shit sometimes.
So do I do. Excuse me. So do you.
Yeah.
Because I cannot pronounce Exolin to save my life.
It's extolling.
Sure.
EXALIN.
Extolling.
All right, the next one would be Jen Berry, episode 6. I loved how no one can seem to insight Ivy's history. It's hilarious, especially with all of her hesitation and cluelessness of her environment. Yes, it's very frustrating, to be honest, to not be able to incite people. I'm sure that people have gotten away with a lot of shit.
Never on me.
No,
Bombastic side-eye on Ivy.
totally not. Elara, totally not.
Thank you, Ivy. Okay, we've all done one, so who wants to do the last one? Should we roll? Roll. Everybody roll. The highest
do we
one
roll
gets
these?
it. Yeah. Oh, I got
2.
17.
18.
Not me.
Varys, you get it.
I don't want it. You can have
Well,
it.
you have it. It's yours.
All right.
Oh, it's in reference to my jacket, the favorite part of their episode.
Oh, good. All right. Luna Shooting Star, episode 1. Jacket expulsion. That's a long list. XD.
Mm-hmm. XD.
XD. You know, that's what the cool kids are doing.
I think it's supposed to represent a laughing face.
No, they put an XD at the end. It's like their signature.
Right.
Thank you for listening, or yeah. Well, I guess yeah. Thanks for listening. And also, we're really good at this. So keep asking us questions. No, you're not asking. Oh my gods. Keep leaving comments on episodes or reviews because we like to read them, and hopefully it's funny. If it's not, leave a comment and tell us, and we probably won't stop, but
You can leave hate comments too.
No!
We'll read those as well.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye. How long is your range for connecting to Bia though?
It's nebulous. We're loosey-goosey with this rule here. Where is it? Not inflict wounds. That'd be wild.
It's like I'm betraying you.
She goes.
Oops, sorry. I was going to
go
do
ahead.
Gringor, but it didn't come out.
Do a
I don't
Gringor.
know who it was.
It was Greg.
It was Greg. It's Greg speaking.
But I need you to make a perception check on your own self to see if you believe yourself. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Oh.
She doesn't think that they'll leave her.
So you are able to grab. I did it again.
That's your
grab.
favorite word, grab. You grab that
Because
jack.
I am saying grab and grasp at the same time. And
that's
it's
fair.
grab.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little vial up my sleeve.
I have a
She
little
gra-
vial.
I
Can't
want
stop,
to
won't
break
stop.
free.
Get out of my head, Dusty.
What is she going to do if she does break free?
Run.
Mm-hmm.
Does she think she can get up in time?
She's
And
gonna
go.
try. She's not
Fair.
just gonna fucking be carried away into,
Like an eagle?
I have the
Yeah.
image of two toddlers fighting over the same toy on the playground.
Flap fighting.
Yeah. I think Gringor is gonna have to actually knock her the fuck out.
Just tie me up, she says.
I won't wriggle free again.
Yeah.
You fucking bastards. Carry on. She's done with her shenanigans for now.
Mm.
The best idea you've had all day.
I think they're going to stop. Minnie, no. Huh? Lucy.
Lucy? Oh. I was like, what?
Listen to Lou.
She's sleeping. She's passed the fuck out.
I'm gonna look up on you. I had an English form, so I gotta find it. Hold on.
Elroy.
It's not Elroy.
I know.
But I love that
Elminster.
So much. Elminster.
It was
No.
the first name that came to my head.
Could you imagine? I might have cheese.
Now, does
She-
Laura remember?
Well, she put that Varys is the changeling because I didn't last session. Remember that? I was like, oh my god! I was like, they're really having this conversation. Genuinely did not remember that happened.
I think not Aiden. Sorry, I think Nate. Can you imagine?
Pops out of the shadows.
Can you imagine? But Varys could.
Varys is listening to everything
Yes,
right now.
He could turn
He's
into
like,
Aiden right
bitch.
now.
I'm really not sure what they would have done to you all if they would have caught up again.
Why don't we find out? No, I'm kidding.
Truly would have been incredible, actually.
Oh,
if
yeah?
you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
so.
yeah.
Just this man voice from the child's body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From inside the tent. Yeah, I'm down with that. And that's where
right.
we end for the day?
Yeah, so we're gonna end for the day. Is why
That
don't we
was
find out?
amazing.
Do you guys think that by this point we would have spent enough time to have a short rest?
I think so. Yeah.
I'll roll some hit points for poor Varys.
Well, that means Gringor gets to roll hit points too.
That's a-okay.
And Elara.
I guarantee you I have almost twice the amount of Gringor has.
How many hit
Okay,
points do you have?
71.
How many?
71.
Oh, yeah. He has 56.
Yep.
So
not twice, but a significant amount more. I'd like to be at full health, please.
Never.
Okay.
I need my calendar. I mean, my calculator.
Your calendar. I need to see what the weather conditions are like.
What is the weather right now?
If you want to calculate
No.
how
I'm
many
just
days
kidding.
it's been, I'll tell you.
I'm just kidding.
I gotta pull up my calculator for the wolf. Give me a second.
Yep.
37 minus 16. Okay.